What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Dubstar. I do apologize, this is one of the deep dives that inevitably, as if you have, falls off my radar, and then because I'm not thinking about it as the cycle goes around and around, it just goes for longer and longer. But shout out to Mark, who brought it to my attention that Dubstar had slipped. And shout out to Philip, who, you know, ever the gentleman, makes a whole bunch of music available, but then, you know, has not pressured or harried or harassed in any way as I've gone through them at my idiosyncratic pace. So, again, I do apologize. I didn't realize that this one had slipped off, which is a shame because I enjoyed the beginning to the start of this album, the beginning to the start and or the beginning to the album Goodbye, which is 1997. And yeah, ultimately the tune we're going to listen to is Polestar, which, you know, I think Earth has had some different Polestars over the millennia that, you know, people have been cataloging such things. I think currently it is Polaris, which is like more directly a Polestar in the Northern Hemisphere than either of the previous couple for like the thousands of years before that. And yeah, I think they're used for navigation, right? Because other stars move more significantly around the sky because of their relative position to the Earth as it rotates and orbits the sun, but also, but in contrast to that, you know, Polaris is relatively stable, you know, toward the pole. So, as such, I think it's used for navigation, or certainly was, you know, in earlier centuries when, let's say, digital or computerized navigation was less of a possibility. Although, you know, depending on your definition of computers, you know, computers can go back very far. Whatever, I stray off course. The point is, Polestar refers to a star that is in a relatively fixed position in the sky relative to others. So, as a metaphor, as an analogy, it could be the one thing in someone's life that is sort of in focus and never, you know, wavers too far from their sight, like a, unfortunately, Dubstar deep dive. But no, I could see multiple ways in which it could be used as a metaphor, the idea of some, like, frame of reference that, you know, for whatever reason is relatively stable compared to everything else that might be chaotic or at least, you know, dynamic and in motion. Relative to someone's life or perception. So ultimately, you know, it could be in reference to an actual Polestar, be it Polaris or another, but yeah, I wonder if it might be a metaphor. So let's find out. This is Dubstar, the track is Polestar, and it's from the 1997 album Goodbye. Very like haunted first couple seconds, and now it's like you and I, northern lights. You were wrong, I saw the Polestar in you. I thought you were right, walking before me. More visual or like atmospheric as far as I can tell. Like seeing the northern lights. Fascinating. A shorter one. I felt like maybe only 2.5 minutes. Yeah, a little over two. But a very like interesting tune sonically. As I said, first couple seconds it sounded very haunted and a bit ghastly, and then it came in with a more epic sort of melodic run. But the overall atmosphere was, complicated. It had a darkness to it, and a couple moments that sort of came more to the fore. But even the general procession of the tune, it had this like I'm happy in my melancholy feel to it. Like it had this, things are actually gloomy and dark, but for some reason there's a degree of, happiness or acceptance for that. So they had like a complicated sonic atmosphere to it, and I enjoyed her vocals again. Like, I'm still in the process of going through their work now recently, back from an interruption, but yeah, I do enjoy the way she can have this, like, again, I hate to use the word haunting again, but this very ghostly sort of sound. Like it has, it's reminding me, a little bit of some of the things that Elizabeth Fraser has been doing that I've been listening to with Cocteau Twins, where it has this like allure to it, but it's also, again, a bit ghostly. So yeah, really cool song. Not sure exactly, again, it sounded more atmospheric. It sounded like we're among, the Northern Lights, we're among, I can see the Polestar and like you were there, so it feels like it's, maybe something that happened between people, or, something indicative of the relationship between two people. But it didn't sound, at least from what I heard, so much as a metaphor as it was like a backdrop. So let me know if I'm wrong. And again, I remember both Mark and Philip talking that their lyrics, they can be dark, and I remember what was it, I want to be your girlfriend, or I'll be your girlfriend, something to that effect. In the moment I'm forgetting the exact title, but that one, like, it didn't really hit me in the moment. Like it felt a little off, it felt a little dark, but it wasn't until people were talking about the lyrics in the comments, it was like, oh wow. So like, they definitely can explore that space of like, it sounds strangely compelling, but when you sort of read between the lines, or think about the context, it's like, ooh, that's actually darker than I realized. So yeah, bottom line, cool tune. Looking forward to getting back onto a semi-regular schedule with Dubstar. Once again, shout out to Mark for bringing that to my attention, and again, shout out to Philip for sharing all sorts of things and being very cool about it. So in any case, let me know what you think. I'll see you next time. Peace.